If women tomorrow say we cannot be bought, all of a sudden men will start to develop their character.
When pregnancy comes around and all that, it should be standard procedure to have a DNA test done.
You're gonna say that for someone to date you, he has to take you to Hakkasan. But you've never been to Hakkasan, you can't afford Hakkasan. But you're saying that that's your standard. That is not your standard, that's your desire.
Well, I stay at home and I look after the kids. She comes in and gives me an allowance.
All right, guys, welcome to Insight with Ayo. We're back again with a fantastic episode today. We've got some amazing guests in the house, and today we're going to talk about a topic that everyone seems to have an opinion on but not really say, and that is a father is not just an ATM. Nowadays, everyone thinks that a man, especially a father, is just there to be someone that provides monetarily. But today we're going to explore that with a number of fathers and parents here that are probably going to tell us something different, or maybe they might agree. Maybe a father is just there to spend money, but we'll find out. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guests, starting from my right to left. And then we'll go ahead.
So my name's Tunde. I'm a proud father of one, entrepreneur, managing director of CKT Solutions.
Lovely.
Hi guys, my name's Anthony. You might recognize me from that TV show. Definitely, I am a proud father. I have 2 sons and look forward to this discussion.
My name's Rhys Henry, luxury real estate agent, proud father of 2, 3 on the way, a 3rd one on the way. And look forward to chopping it up with Ayo and the guys.
Congrats, bro.
Congrats.
Hi, guys. I'm Ty. I'm a teacher and I've got 2 beautiful little girls.
Fantastic. So that's everyone. Obviously, I need not introduce myself, but I will anyway. I'm Ayo Noble, host of Insight with Ayo, and I'm your favorite financial advisor. So, today's topic, boys, is a father nothing more than an ATM? Because the reason why I think that's what people think, because there's going to be people that are going to watch this and be like, well, I don't think that. And there's going to be some that innately think that, but obviously they can't say it like that because it sounds mad to say out loud. I think people think that because a lot of the times, single mums tend to say or tend to believe they can do it by themselves as long as they earn enough. So to me, that translates as, I think a father, a man is nothing more than his earning potential. So therefore, if I can earn the amount of money that I would expect him to earn, therefore I can replace him. And if you think that, and you think that's all there is to it, then essentially you're just saying that a man is nothing more than an ATM. He's just there for when monetary issues arises. As long as you can cover those monetary issues, then what's his use? So I want to open up to you guys. What would you say to that? Do you think a father is just an ATM? Is that the bulk of the responsibility? You know, if you were to divide it into percentages of everything a father's supposed to be, are you going to say that 50% or more is literally just financial? Or is it more nuanced than that?
I think that's an interesting observation because if we look at fathers as potentially just the cash machine, well, as soon as the cash machine runs out, there's no use. That means it's interchangeable. And I think that every father here on this panel knows the worth of a father is a lot more than just a cash machine.
100%.
I'm pretty certain that we're gonna find many situations where, cash can't really replace the role of a father. That's why some people in their lives, they've got father figures because, and that's got nothing to do with cash. It's to do with the mental nurturing. It's a lot deeper than that. So definitely from my point of view, something I look at as we're definitely not just an ATM. We are a lot more than that. That's for certain.
Why do you think that opinion has formed? Why do you think we are seen? Because the truth of the matter is we are actually seen as even fathers and boyfriends, husbands, outside looking in and seeing like we're just cash signs. You're not bringing any money to the table, then what is the table? There is no table, sort of thing. So that's definitely crept in, but why do we think that is?
It really depends on the type of person that you get into a relationship with as well, I feel. Because, certain women have that opinion just because of the way social media skewed things and the way other people in society have maybe portrayed men to be, especially fathers that aren't present. But especially if you're in a relationship with that partner, you should want to create a stable dynamic for your kids and help them grow and help them understand, that stability is important for the upbringing. And I think maybe some women that haven't got that stable father around, or maybe it was a one night stand or whatever it may be, they've then, heard something online or seen someone do things in a different way, and then they've kind of embraced that perception that this is what men are supposed to do because they're not doing anything else for them as such. Maybe that's why it's gone that way, potentially, because of social media and other things, other influences out there that are out of our control.
Social media, I think, definitely had a big impact. But what impact do you think we've made on that?
Let me just pick up on that social media point, because I think that's a highly interesting point. It being what I like to call P cubed. This is what dads are supposed to do, or men are supposed to do. Was it protect? Provide? What's the last P? Profess. Protect, provide, profess, apparently. That's I love. So again, even just that sort of nullifies the argument, because to protect is more than financial protection.
100%.
We're talking physical protection. Okay, so that in it alone, see, this is where it's controversial, because people run with that narrative, run with that notion about providing and protecting, and yet still within itself, it shows you that a man is a lot more than that, and a father is a lot more than that. So, I mean, this day and age, there's a lot of warped thinking. It's very skewed, as you said.
Yeah, 100%.
And you need to, in those critical words, see through the fog. You have to be able to see through the fog to see that it's a lot more than that. And it's just a shame that some people actually go with that narrative. Well, when I say some people, women, that is, in particular, let's go there. Okay,
might as well.
That's basically, that is the case, and it's far from that.
I think women think that providing is a form of protection. So whilst our definition of protection is physical, their definition of protection is money. Give me a house, give me a car so that I have to walk to the bus stop late at night. Give me a house that's close by to my job so that I'm not on the roads like that. I think their definition of what protection is, and those 3 P's that you mentioned, differs a lot from what we think it is or what it should be. And I think that's where the differences come in when it comes to seeing men as an ATM. A whole body that is here to do much more than just throw money at problems or situations.
I feel like there's a lot of women that would ride for their husband or their baby fathers.
To what capacity? Because it's all that they would ride. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are good women, but to what capacity?
I don't want to know why you think that. I want to know why you think that.
Because I've spoken to some girls, and the stories they tell me about how they was with them and through some crazy stuff I couldn't even imagine. Like, there are a lot of good girls out there, but what I find is we're responsible for that image as well, of the money image, because that's the first thing that someone would try and approach you. Go, you're in a club, let me buy you a drink. So you're already setting the precedent for, like, you're not even just talking. It's like, look, let me buy you a drink, and you're showing things, like, because obviously we believe in that as well. We believe, okay, you have to have the money to get the girl.
Yeah, but then it comes down to the chicken and the egg, as in, why do we buy a girl a drink? Why is that the standard? Why is that the norm to feel that we have to buy something for a woman before we can initiate a conversation? So it's like the chicken and the egg. Is like, which one came first? The idea that men have to be financial providers or have money to get the girl, or have girls made it that way? Well, what's the cause? What's the effect? What's the cause?
I think it's both.
You know what I think?
I'm not gone.
You know what I think, yeah? I think it's that men operate based off results. That's how we conduct ourselves. We are results-based people, aka logic.
Yes.
If I have seen
Yeah, that's
that
facts.
my desired outcome happens through method X, I will apply method X. I'm not going to force method Y to produce my desired outcome when I know method X is tried, tested, and proven.
And it works.
Do you understand? So what I'm a big believer of is women determine culture. Women are the people that shape and run culture. Whatever women want culture to be, that will be the culture. If women tomorrow say, we cannot be bought, everything is going to be based off who you are as a person, not how much can you spend, all of a sudden, men will start to develop their, their character themselves. Because you're not going to get your desired outcome with money because they've unanimously made it the case. If women tomorrow say, we're no longer going to be dating drug dealers, roadmen, gangbangers, rappers, we're no longer going to chase that. We don't find them appealing. We're only looking for stable men, that have proven or shown some sort of loyalty. They're in some sort of respectable profession. Not to say being a rapper is not a respectable profession. Definitely being a gangbanger is not a profession. So absolutely. I mean, who says when I want my child to grow up to be a gangbanger? We know. But just for the people, the naysayers that don't want to use deductive reasoning and say, oh, you said. Apart from that, if women started saying that, you'd see how there'd be a drastic gravitational shift towards those things. So in saying that, I think because women have shown that, hey, majority of you respond to being bought. Majority of you can be bought. And that might stem back from the home they're coming from. Because to them, even like seeing man as money, if you've grown up in a single parent home and all you've watched is your mum suffer financially due to the absence of a father, and all your mum talks about is the hardship that, being fatherless comes, that the hardship financially, being fatherless produces. That's all you see. That's all you hear. All you hear is, I'm complaining because of something about money and because your dad's not here. I'm complaining about something about money and it's because your dad's not here. So now you make it your whole entire quest. Even your reason for being in a relationship is wrong. The foundations. You're not even going into marriage or anything like that for family. You're going into marriage to redeem the childhood that was stolen from you due to financial constraints. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you don't even approach the situation with, okay, cool. We're coming together to create a family. How does our union benefit the family most? You go into it saying, what can I get out of this man solely? You don't even think of what am I going to offer this man. It's just, right, I grew up fatherless, no money. All I'm trying to do is claim, it's almost like you're trying to, get a tax rebate. It's like a childhood tax rebate. It's like, right, I've missed out on all this money from the age of whatever, to whatever. Now I'm this age, I need to recoup all of that financially. So therefore, you just see man as money because all you've heard is, in the absence of man, we've lacked money. But your mom's probably not telling you, in the absence of your father, you've lacked other things, discipline, upbringing, emotional temperance and control. Because, guidance, role model, a first impression of a man.
Of knowing what you should accept when you then go into your stage of trying to find a man as well. Like, they're the lines that can be blurred.
100%.
If a father figure's not there. That's why we are so much more than just money. Money is important. I don't think we can... Because I respect a girl that wants an ambitious man and wants someone that's doing something with their life and going somewhere.
Of course.
I don't think there's a problem with that. But seeing us solely as a pound note will make a lot of girls lonely at the end of the day, because you need companionship. You need someone that's going to give you some sort of logic. And when you're making decisions, you need someone that's going to form a leadership, a partnership with you, someone to lead you. And I feel like there are a lot of things that we do well. Someone to father your kids, show them the way to progress in life, and the giving them the inspiration. And because all children need two parents. Do children cost money? Yeah, not as much as everyone says they do. But the number one thing my daughter wants from me is my time. That's the number one thing she wants. She wants my time. I can throw money at situations and it doesn't matter.
Can't buy the love.
Can't buy the love. She just wants my time. But even she finds it hard because I'm a very busy person. When I can't see her, just says, Dad, I just want to see you. We can just go to the park. It's just having that other parent there. That's all children really want. Like I said, money's important. You need to make money, because I feel like it is, you making money is just showing people that there's something that you're worth leading someone. You're worth, okay, a girl seeing, okay, he knows what he's doing. I can potentially follow him and we can actually make something. But we've got so many other qualities.
Let me ask you guys a question. You guys have been fathers for
everyone but me.
a certain period of time. Has there ever been a point in time when, let's say, you couldn't provide financially, and how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel less of a father? Did it make you feel anything at all, or what?
Yeah, I when it comes to these type of things, maybe I'm old school. Yeah, maybe I'm old school because I'm probably older than most people on this panel here.
You definitely are.
So I'm always gonna look at this from a different perspective. Number one, to get girls, I wouldn't spend money to get them.
Yeah.
That's
So you wouldn't?
no.
So what are you going for? A walk?
Point blank.
Are you going for a walk, my brother?
See, because what you're thinking about is what can I show her? What can I impress her with? I'm not bothered about what I can impress her with. As long as I am strong in my stance, in my masculinity, and I'm okay with me, and I know that I can provide, I can do these things, great. If you don't know that about me, even better. Because if I'm showing you that this is what I'm going to do because I'm taking you out on these dates and I'm romancing you and I'm showing you all this love. I mean, most of the time, people that do that, it's you can't even keep that up. Realistically, you're overcompensating. Why are you trying so hard? Now, sorry, I'm from old school. I don't try so hard like that, right? Because at the end of the day, that means you never treat me. The very thing I'm complaining about is the very thing I'm condoning because it starts with me, right? Because I'm saying I'm the one showing you all these things and then saying, oh well, then later on, of course you're gonna think I'm an ATM. Yeah. That's all you ever saw. Yeah. But if you understood actually, just having a general conversation with this man here, it motivates me. It feeds me mentally. It stimulates me more than beyond just the financial element. It's that type of thing for me personally. That's way more important because then it starts to show what sort of character and worth you have. Because as you said, one thing is correct in finances. At any time, you can be up, you can be down, which kind of precedes the question that you was bringing forward. Sometimes you're riding on a high and other times it is that. So basically, as soon as I'm on the down, which is what life looks like, that's what life is. It's waves. There ain't no forward trajectory and that's it. And then we get to the happily ever after and ain't no Disney out here. This is how life really looks. So you're telling me if I ride a little low wave, you're through the door because I'm an ATM. Well, you know what? You better keep it moving. All right? Keep it moving. I don't need that. You see? So from the very get-go, if they had that sort of conversation or, I wasn't trying to impress from that point of view, then maybe they might actually appreciate there's something a bit more to this man, which might give a little bit more longevity. So for me personally, to go and impress them with basically all of that. Now, don't get me wrong, you can wine and dine. You can do all of those things there, but leading with that, that for me, that's too needy. I ain't that needy. Sorry, I'm confident with me. Sorry.
I think that's just where we are. It's like you have to show something to get that opportunity. Like I'm not glorifying like doing the mad thing and going overboard. But let's be real, you have to wine and dine the girl. Like it's not just like it's not.
Well, you know what? We're not trying to say that you can't wine and dine, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not just going to see you first of all, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? Right, let me show you this. Let me take you to Funky Buddha. Let me take you here, or let me do this, or let me do. I'm trying to.
Yeah, but if that's your lifestyle, then there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. If that's what you do on a normal day, if that's what you do like for yourself, if you go to them restaurants by yourself and you're bringing someone into your world, that's cool. Now, if you don't do that and now you're like, yeah, let's go here, let's do this, and that's different. That's different.
That's a good point right there. That thing that you said, your normal day. So I think where you two both meet in that center point is if it's your reality and that's what you normally do. Now, a lot of people, what they normally do is be online. Do you get what I'm saying? What they're normally doing is chilling at home, watching television, or maybe they play a sport or something like the actual. Do you know what I actually do on a normal day? Oh, I play golf. I do this. How many girls are gonna do that? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you're trying to find that middle ground where it's like, no, I'm not leading with money, but do you know what I mean? I can afford this. This is what I want to do. The problem is when, for example, is when girls demand the getting to know stage. They turn the getting to know stage into fulfilling their fantasies. What do I mean by that? You're going to say that for someone to date you, he has to take you to Hakkasan, just for the sake of an example. But you've never been to Hakkasan, you can't afford Hakkasan, you wouldn't go there on your own time.
Don't make sense.
So, but you're saying that that's your standard. And that's one of the things that, I think people have misunderstood, the meanings of words. That is not your standard, that's your desire. Your standard is actually how your life runs and is conducted on a day-to-day basis. So what you just determine to be a standard is not a standard, it's a desire. Now, in that being said, let's say she meets a guy that, no, for his standard and his life, Hakkasan is normal. She might have, hit the jackpot there. But in terms of what you were saying, in terms of you can't maintain it, if the guy can maintain it and that's all she's sought after, at some point it will break down. But when? That's the question, because this is normal to him, but this is above and beyond for her. And she's just in it for the money, but to him, he doesn't even see it as that because I do this every day anyway.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have to have boundaries and standards ourselves, innit? Like I always say this to girls, like friends and that. Be like, if you're bringing nothing else to the table than your good looks, eventually,
It's going to be someone else better looking.
Yeah, man will move on. Like it's like they'll see these guys that have money and whatever. I'm like, why don't you get them to invest in one of your business streams or something? Like, why don't you do something constructive? Because at the end of the day, if you're just offering one thing, we can find that so many places. Like daily, like bring something else to the table. If you desire a guy with money and that's what you want, make sure you're bringing other things to the table.
So what does a father bring to the table apart from money? As parents, as fathers, what are the unseen, unspoken, not, undervalued aspects of, parenting, or what you bring to, like, the impact you make in a child's life apart from being able to pay for their school trips?
Structure.
Stability, time, effort.
Discipline.
All of that it has to be there to set the groundworks, because it plays a massive part in what they're going to become at a later stage. So you're absent in all those early stages, which I think a lot of fathers don't realize how important it is, especially in the early years, that you need to be there consistently through the trips, through playing with the cars and the car mat, wherever it may be. It's the small little things that they remember, and then that will play a massive part in the way that they perceive themselves as having relationships in the future. Because if you have a father that isn't present and is absent, it's only gonna, they're only gonna have one thing to kind of look at and portray that way, and then next minute, they're not treating a woman the same way, and it's just a vicious cycle that just basically continues on repeat.
Absolutely. It's definitely something I concur with. I believe one of the key elements of being a father is shaping the mindset of the future. It's shaping the mindset. It's so key. A woman's role, definitely from an emotional perspective, they can nurture that a lot, but it's an easier thing. But from a father's perspective, it's going through all those ups and downs, as you said, because when you're on the play mat, through play, you can also nurture the mindset. You said you're a teacher. I teach. I work with kids 7 days a week. Those without fathers and those, and I'm telling you, is one of the key elements, mentality. Because again, if you've got that mentality, you might not want to lead with money first. Depends on the mentality that's been given or set with you from early as to how you view yourself. Because again, it's building the confidence, the self-esteem, understanding that, what your fortune may come and go, but I can rebuild and I can do something, from the talents that I possess within. Is having that championship mentality. That's what a dad really brings, from that point of view.
How do you get that mentality?
How do you get the mentality? By, the experiences that will happen. So say, for example, it's something simple. I'm playing Xbox with my son. Okay? He's playing some FIFA or something like that. Great. And he's whining because basically he's losing. No problem. You're whining because you're that's all right, son, I get it. But number one, first of all, we're going to understand that part of life is frustration. So the frustration that you feel, I ain't going to cut you down for it, it's valid. It's okay to feel frustrated, son. But key element is what you do about it. So now you're learning, when I get frustrations in my life, I don't just get mad and go crazy. I'm like, okay, right. Pause. It's okay to feel frustrated, but this is how I handle it now. All right, I'm going to have to practice at a different level in order to overcome, because all things are hard before they are easy. So this is a critical lesson that they've learned here just by playing this game with me because of mentality, because certain things that happen, that's going to happen to you in life. And what we're doing is preparing you for life. It's the whole idea of teaching from that point of view. So, and there's countless scenarios where opportunities present themselves, only because, again, as men, the one thing we can do, right? Your daughter or your son may be crying, but you're able to go the halfway mark, right? Where as much as it's kind of, it is kind of hitting you, it's your child. But there's the other side that, if I have to be straight down the line and strong about this thing, because right now it's not about the tears, it's about this, and this point is very important.
The principle
of the matter. That's what men do. That's what fathers can do, That's why my sons know, if they come here, when you come to dad's house, it's order. Listen, your shoes come off at the door, this happens here, this goes there, that goes there, it comes order. From you just stepping, I don't have to say nothing. But at home, you might get away with madness. If I saw the madness you lot were getting away with, it's just the mindsets. And this is a key thing. And it's the mind, because we've got to raise this human being and set them free in the world.
Yeah. I think that fathers have foresight, or better foresight than mothers. I think a father will see a behavior and say, that needs to stop because I can see where it's going to lead to. And a woman might see it and just be like, okay, I just need you to stop crying because I've got stuff to do. But I think fathers just see further ahead in comparison to mothers.
Even just taking up on the point there, imagine that same scenario where we're strong, they go for bribery. All right, just whatever. So this child is learning when going gets tough,
put a little bit of pressure, and
and then they're learning different mechanisms of how to deal with future life events, and this is something that's key. That as you said, in the early phases, that is so key between to about 7, 8. Because again, I've seen this many times at school where you've got a monster about 13 who's now, they've been indoctrinated with all of this. And now there's just literally no helping them because their mindset is really solid, and it's these behaviors have been reinforced. It's almost like being in a laboratory, you know what I'm saying? Where they have got, the rat does this, we give it some cheese, and it's a good behavior, bad behavior, it gets this. That's what's happening here, and that's how important a father's role is. Obviously, if you're there in a house on a daily basis, your impact is way greater. Now, situations happen, and each situation by their own merit. So I'm not here to slate dads that are not there because of situations, but what I am going to say is, to have a presence in your child's life that's a choice. That's a choice. Me personally, I choose to make sure that is the case where my sons are concerned. That's not another man's role. That's my role. Long as it's my DNA. The most important thing, that it's my DNA.
Oh, okay? He's going to take me to that place now.
Yeah, I'm taking it right there because, listen, right now I'm going to advocate that when you see pregnancy comes around and all that, it should be standard procedure to have a DNA test. Standard.
So let me play devil's advocate.
Okay, let's
be the women that are gonna come in the comments now.
Let's get spicy.
Yeah. Why should there be a DNA test? Are you basically insinuating and implying that I'm just sleeping around, blah blah blah? That's the accusation automatically that they take it as, versus seeing it as how many countless times have people thought that their child was theirs and it's not even theirs. So they're taking it from the isolated perspective of, I'm a decent woman that's not doing that. So why am I being disrespected by, after I've pushed this baby out, someone standing here, yeah, so let's just verify quickly. Let's do a 2-factor authentication on the baby.
But that's similar to having a prenup, isn't it? It's like, sometimes these things just got to be done.
I disagree. That is nowhere near like having a prenup. A prenup is this. You say you've got a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So you would know this better than anything. Or like, let's say you had a son, right? You've built your wealth here to a certain level. Mm-hmm. even with your daughter, let's say, you've built your wealth to a certain level. Like, you've built all this for her. She goes and marries some guy now. Your daughter is great. She's perfect. She has done nothing wrong. She's done all her duties as a wife. She is not in the wrong whatsoever. This guy comes from a background that doesn't meet your daughter's. So they're marrying for love. Or he might be marrying for money. We don't know yet. Something goes wrong. They divorce. He's now taking half of the wealth that you've built for your daughter.
No, you got me wrong. I agree with prenup. You better have a prenup. What I'm trying to say is that it's viewed by girls the same, like, oh, why would you want a DNA test? Why would you want a prenup sort of thing? That's what I meant.
Oh, certainty.
Yeah,
That's the reason why someone wants that.
yeah.
Because time and time again, life has shown that it is possible for you to believe that it's just you and her sleeping together. Meanwhile, in secret, she's gotten pregnant for the person. But then now, the question will be, is that a sign that the man didn't vet the girl properly?
Well, life. Tricky old thing. Funny old thing. Because things are never quite the way they seem. And sometimes it just is what it is. You know? And each situation, as I said, could be completely different. But ultimately, when we're talking about fatherhood, there's what we're dealing with here, and motherhood, this is a serious affair, as we can see right now. It's very serious. Therefore, when two people come together, I believe personally that they should, once there's a child on the way, and that is the case, the DNA test should be done. This has got to be, it is what it is, because that's not, as I said, right now, I don't look at another man to do my responsibility. That's my responsibility. And as a man, I stand on my shield when it comes to responsibility. It is what it is. That's it. That's my philosophy there. And I don't, because later on, I think we want to introduce the idea of deadbeat dads. To me, that's what that is, because it's like you're running away from responsibility. But that's most probably because part of your nurturing, you haven't learned how to become, make that transition from a boy to a man, which is dealing with responsibility, not running away from things. That's what boys do. Men go, okay, you know what? It might not be the best situation. It might, wherever it is, that's where we start, and this is how we begin to structure and work through things, and change things and make a better result, and then ultimately be able to lead by example, lead by the example, which is the best thing that you can do for any child of yours.
So, yeah, and that's when you ask the question, what are fathers for? Leading by example is one of the key things.
Not just the wallet.
The wallet can't lead. You see what I'm trying to say? The wallet, it can lead because it can get you. It can get you straight into, to the pathway to heaven. That's what it can get you. As you said, just buy a drink. Okay, then next minute, I'll unlock the key at the golden gate. You understand? Each man, different stroke for different folks. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
What I meant with that is, it always has to be a way to get in. Yeah. And then after you get in, then you can show everything. You show all the other qualities. But it's a tough market.
Okay. But as you say, if you've got a golden key, why not use it? It works. But yeah.
But let me ask everyone actually one at a time. Do you think that the DNA test should be standard practice?
I haven't really thought too much about it. I feel like it should be down to the people. If you want a DNA test, and have a DNA test, but you should. But it's seen as an attack on the woman, like you said. You're asking for a DNA test, they're gonna see it as an attack. So
even if they're innocent.
Yeah, especially if they're innocent, they're gonna think, well, why are you coming to me talking about DNA test, this and that? That we don't women don't really understand, don't take logic into the situation. It's like, okay, cool. Like, if we look at how many people find themselves in that situation, it's fair enough to say, you know what? Especially if it's quick time. But yeah.
What do you think, Rhys?
Funny enough, I've been in that situation.
So you've asked for the DNA test?
I did.
What caused you to ask?
Simply because of the dynamics. We was together, like my firstborn, we was together, but we didn't form a relationship from it. So it was just standard for me to ask because I just wanted to be sure.
So there was a bit of, is there a bit of mistrust?
A little bit, yeah. Just because it had the way things had gone. But again, like you said, it depends on the type of person that you're dealing with. If it's someone that you've got trust with, and you've built a bond, then yeah, you shouldn't really have to ask that question. But again, it depends on circumstances.
Sorry.
I think very important because obviously I'm married, so first kid comes and I ask my wife, I want a DNA test.
It's like, what are you implying?
So would you rather not know then?
Oh
You're leading to a very important
no,
point.
I would.
So why is it not standard for us then?
I would want to know, but marriage is based on trust. So to ask that would be almost like I don't trust you, if that makes sense. And that dynamic is
I
difficult.
agree. That's
in
basically
marriage.
saying that there's
Right.
some sort of infidelity.
Yeah.
Infidelity had to happen for there to be a possibility that it's not even my child.
Right.
Do you ever get this one where the girl be telling you, oh, because of my past relationship, I'm doing this, this, and this. I'm moving this sort of way, or I don't trust people because of that.
So history lessons are important, yeah, for all of us, for men and women. But I think one of the key things is forearmed is forewarned, because it's unfair for a man, as we said, to lead by example for 18 years. And in the words of Kanye, and it wasn't it.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a sacrifice. We're talking not this is what we're saying. Fathers are not just an ATM. We've said so many words have come to the fore. The dedication that's required, the discipline that we bring, the mental nurturing. All of these things. Being a role model for 18 years.
Yeah.
And it's not yours. Oh, hell to the no.
So is there ways that can be mitigated? Because
Yes, have the DNA test from early. Mitigate that. 18 years mitigation. Without a shadow of doubt. Because listen, at the end of the day, if you done what you did it. Okay? So it's your responsibility. We're not running from that. We're not trying to talk about trying to run. It's about facing up to what it is. Just the same way, if she did what she did, you did it. Face up to it. That's what we're talking. Because as we're talking about parents, that's what type of children are we raising if we're not taking accountability either way? The dads don't take accountability and the mum don't take accountability. What type of child is that?
and then you saying that just leads me on to the next bit. Deadbeat dads. Let's get the true definition, because what sometimes, because it's like there's a couple of dilemmas here. With deadbeat dads, it's the dads that's not present. Now, to go to the next level of that, is a deadbeat dad if the mum is the obstacle and the reason he's not present? So, AKA, he's got a partner or a woman that he's had a child with who's now weaponized that child against him because he no longer wants to be in a relationship with her. And since she isn't happy about the fact that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, she's taken away the one thing that he does love that they've created together, which is the child. So therefore, she's not making it easy for him to see the child. Now, if that man now succumbs to that and says, look, by legal standing, she's the primary carer. It's not that I don't want to be, it's not that I can't afford to be, but the legal system has said, she's the primary carer, I pay child support, which I am doing. However, this woman, I want to see my child as much as possible. I'm happy to work it out. However, based on the emotions, how she feels on the day, she's trying to punish me rather than thinking of the detriment that is going to have on that child, me being absent. Now, let's say that guy succumbs to that pressure and says, what do you want me to do? She's not letting me see my child. Is that a deadbeat dad?
I wouldn't say that.
So what would your definition of a deadbeat dad be?
I'll say a deadbeat dad is a father who doesn't do all the different things that we say that a father is supposed to do. So the discipline, the spending time, the interest, that emotional connection. If you don't have that, then I would say that you're a deadbeat dad.
Or I would say if they are in that situation where the other parent is not allowing them to see the kid, they still don't make any conscious effort. Because you get dads that get put in that situation where the mum says, I don't want you seeing them, no contact, you just pay your maintenance. And then they just go, oh, you know what, I'll just pay the maintenance and that will do. That's not enough. That's putting us back in that box of being the ATM. So we need to, step up in that situation, even if the mum is being difficult. There's always a way around it. That kid has to see you making that conscious effort. Otherwise, they think that you don't care, and then it's that neglect will follow them through into adulthood.
So
For me, I was going to say, for me, a deadbeat dad, quite simply, is a dad who does not accept their responsibility
Mm.
and who's completely not a role model for their child, because literally they don't want to accept no responsibility. Because if you do accept responsibility for your child, you'll naturally do all of those things because you're going to want the best for your child.
Of course.
So you're going to want to help nurture their thinking. You're going to be interested in what way do you think? How are you thinking? What's your mentality like? You know, how you handle situations. You'll be very interested in this. Even if, okay, as I said, in some situations there are barriers and hurdles people have to overcome. These things do happen, but that desire inside, nothing's not going to hold you or stand in your way. You know, but again, a deadbeat dad is most probably, you could almost go as far as saying it's a dad who hasn't really, who's still a boy, basically. They just haven't transitioned into a man. Because basically, as far as they're concerned, when they do something, well, it wasn't me. Nothing to do with me. Back's turn. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I feel like a deadbeat dad isn't just someone that's not present. You can be present and not be showing your children anything. And that's not your role. Your role is to make sure that, like we were saying, you're a role model, you're leading by example. So, yeah, I feel like there's a few different categories. If you're not showing your children everything, if you're not providing for them, because at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to provide for them. The way I see it is if we want to be like a traditional man, and that's what I'm big on. So, yeah, choosing the easy way out. You said something earlier about men. We should relish the hard things. And when you were saying about if they're not making it easy for you, well, life ain't easy. So like, we can't shy away from that. She's not letting you see your child, so then what? You just stop.
Well,
Like there's actually a legal way to see your child that you can go through. If you put your time and your money where your mouth is, you will see your child.
So what are some of the practical, because I like people to, when they watch my stuff, to get practical takeaways that they can actually do versus, okay, I didn't get anything. Let's say we've got a guy that's about to become a deadbeat dad because he's about to succumb to the pressure, but he doesn't want to be that guy. And he's saying, okay, cool. I've got this baby mother that is literally a pain. She deliberately wants to be an obstacle in me spending time with my children because she's emotionally hurt. And she's not just letting her hurt, she's not separating her hurt from the impact it's going to have on this child's life because she doesn't care right now. What can I do to overcome that and be able to be in my child's life despite the fact that she's the primary carer and she's making it difficult?
Assess all your legal options. Right? You have to actually take time and effort to research what can I do, because a lot of dads will just be like, well, there's nothing I could do. I'll see them when they're 18. I'll tell them about it. But that's like you missing all of that time in that person's life. Yeah, they'll call you dad when they see you after 18 years. But are you really a dad to them?
Stranger.
Like, yeah, you're just someone with the title. You're not actual dad. Actual dad is taking the time, spending the effort. And the story you want to tell is, I went through hell to see you. I was doing this, I was doing that. She wasn't trying to let me, but I made it. We got there. I made sure, even if it was just 2 hours at a centre, they always allowed me to do, I was there. So at the end of the day, life's not easy.
What ends up happening anyway is the child will end up seeing how much effort is being put in, and then they'll look at both parents and eventually think, well, why is mum being so difficult? Why are you making? They'll even pose the question, why are you making it so difficult for me to see dad? And then they start to realise it's actually the emotion or the emotional side of it that's coming into play, rather than it actually being a valid reason why they can't see their dad.
100%. Don't let nothing stop you.
No, exactly.
What do you say, Anthony?
I think it's a really interesting one.
Also, separate yourself from the relationship and the child. Because what a lot of guys will do is, the relationship's over now.
That's it with the child as well.
Yeah, that's it. And they kind of use that as a tool to try and weasel themselves back in. But we got... It's like, no, start separating it. You've got a relationship with the mum now. It was your decision to sleep with her. Now you got a kid. So if you want to blame anyone, look in the mirror, blame yourself, first of all. And then separate, okay, this is my child. That's why what you said earlier is so important to build that bond at the start. Because if you don't build that bond at the start, then in your child's life and in your life, it's nothing for you not to be there. Once you build that child knows, okay, yeah, you've built a relationship with your dad, your parent. So yeah, it's hard to be a deadbeat once you built that relationship with your child.
Exactly.
Yes, it's. I think a lot of it comes from desire, and again, what sort of household somebody was brought up in as well. Me, I was brought up in a nuclear family. My dad was always there, you know, and a lot of his teachings are still evident to this day. I mean, he's no longer with me at this moment in time. However, one thing I always thanked him for is those many hours of lectures that I could be like, shh, man, I know this word for word. I'm gonna sit here for 4 hours listening to these lectures, but actually, after a while, you realize, hey, Dad knew something. You know, he actually did know something. You know, there was, which has now helped my ability to communicate with people. He gave me the real locksmith to me, the real golden key, the ability to communicate with people, more different demographics, and that's allowed many doors to open from that point of view. You know, the doors were open in a different way. That's why I say I might not flash my wallet. I might use a different way to still open the door. You see?
Interesting you said that because you know we went round saying what's a deadbeat dad or what. None of us said money.
Yeah.
So as a deadbeat dad, is that one of the things that come into it?
Right. So we're saying that a deadbeat dad.
No, I'm saying is one of the factors an element of not having finances. Is that a factor we can put into someone being a deadbeat dad?
No. Because the fact of the matter is, you never know where somebody is. Every master was once a beginner. Everybody gets their time to shine at different moments.
But where's the responsibility?
Let me. Okay, right. So what I'm saying is that you can have somebody who's basically at the beginning of their journey. Okay, so just like anything, the beginning of the journey, you haven't arrived yet.
Should you have a child then?
Really, you shouldn't have a child at that moment because you're not really ready. Realistically, however, that's just in a utopian world. That's not how it goes. People have children and they're not ready. So do you know what? You got to start some point, somewhere, somehow. I said I'm not going to have a kid until I was 30 plus. I got bowled out at 28. Yeah, that's what I said. But it is what it is. And, you know, you got to learn somewhere. There's no manual. And it's only, you know, podcasts and various... But again, there's so much disinformation because we're here dissecting some of that disinformation, you know? But it really is that because you've got to find your way. But ultimately, it's about what your desires and what you stand for.
No, I agree.
You know?
I agree, but I'm saying, why is the finances, when we're talking about deadbeat dads, doesn't come together?
So define your question better. Are you saying that not having finances makes you a deadbeat dad?
No, I'm saying it could be like we was describing elements that could make you.
Deadbeat dad.
And none of us said the finance part.
No, because,
but the finance part is important.
Yes, it is.
It is important. No, it's important because you need to be able to provide for them children you made.
But listen, here's the thing. There's not going to be no dad that's going to be in a position where they got nothing at all.
There are some.
No, but even then, they're still going to have. I mean, if they're living in this country, yes, they must be on what's it called?
Universal credit.
Yeah,
but I'm saying school uniforms are expensive, you know, my brother. I thought I just went into secondary school. It's expensive.
Listen. No, listen. If it's me personally, and that's just I can only speak for myself, right? Maybe it's the upbringing. Maybe it's the St. Lucian in me. Maybe it's that I don't know what it is. But listen. If that is the case, well then I'll pick up a ladder and a bucket and I'll go wash some windows.
Exactly.
You see, I got shoulders, yeah? I'm gonna do whatever is needed to be done. Because if that's what I'm about, nothing ain't stopping me. Okay, yeah, I don't have this.
So that means
and
it
I'm
comes
not
into the conversation then.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Is a stay-at-home dad a deadbeat?
Is a stay-at-home dad a deadbeat? In this day and age, you can make money from home.
But that's not he's asking.
That's
It's not someone. It's not someone that's earning from home. It's someone that's just managing the home.
Hold on, that's role reversal. But then again, we're in a different time frame. Because naturally, man will be providing, and women will be nurturing.
Yeah.
But that's not how it is now in this day and age. So he might have swapped roles now. He said, "Well, you know what? You got and provide."
Nah.
I'll nurture. See? And you know what, yeah? And I like that right away. That now comes in, and the reason that now comes in right away is because that does not, you do not subscribe to that theory. Because you are, and again, I bet you if we start looking at your upbringing, you see that basically it's a direct descent in your brain. As far as you're concerned, as a man, I'm going to provide. You understand? And that's what makes me feel wholesome. You understand? Where's
One of the elements.
One of the elements that will make you feel wholesome. And that's really important because you're passionate about that. Therefore, you're just not going to go down that line. And I can respect it. You know what I mean? Somebody else, they might look at it in a different and say, what is it? New age. What's it called? Soft guy era?
Soft guy era.
Getty boys.
Okay? They're like, listen, well, I stay at home and I look after the kids. She comes in and gives me an allowance. Hey,
No,
cool
That
with
just sounds mad out loud. I can't lie.
No, exactly.
So then
when
it's like-
you hear it out loud, you're like,
I mean, I hear this.
any sane person will be like, are you serious? But people are subscribing. People are doing all different stuff. But in this day and age, as far as I'm concerned, you stand for what you believe in. And that's part of being a man. I stand on my shield for what I believe in. With no shadow of doubt. And when it comes back to that whole parenting, it didn't matter if I didn't have this or didn't have that. I do what needs to be done. And that's what stops me from being a deadbeat dad. Whether I had dough or I didn't have dough. Didn't come into the equation.
100%.
You know, it's here. You can't measure what's in a man's heart. See them shoulders, they're built for
But I'm
action.
saying part of the whole masculine wave is that you go and get it. So it's like, how can you separate that from the whole armory? Like you're saying, okay, well, it doesn't matter if I have money or not.
No, what I'm trying to say is, you don't start at the top.
I think
You
it's
start at the
I think it's
bottom.
about the
I'm
amount
saying-
of money.
What we're saying is you're building.
Amount is
we're saying
amount
you're
is
building.
different.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, because
hold on. Before money, there was what?
I don't know.
What, a bartering system.
Barter system.
Yeah.
My point is this: I could trade services with you. I might not have this dough or that dough. I need to get the school uniform. That's what my end goal is: get the school uniform. But all right, I don't have that cash right now, and I'm like, right, okay, school uniform's up. What can I do? All right, maybe I might have to trade services in order to get something. But my point is,
No, there's nothing wrong. That's the mentality you should have. That if I don't have it currently, I need to go and get it.
Yeah, of course.
Not just I don't have it. Sorry, I don't have it. You can't get it. But then at what point in your life do you say, okay, this can't be a repetitive pattern of me not having it when they need it? What am I actually going to change in my life that can make sure that I'm always in a situation to have it?
No, but you see, what you're talking from, and I respect it a lot, because obviously your mindset is, I want to provide, and I want to provide abundance for me and my family, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
It's not even me and my family, it's service to others, but I hear what you're saying.
But because whatever you do affects yours. Okay, if you're upgraded, everything around you and every person that's connected to you is upgraded. So ultimately, unless you know what I'm saying? This is what's going to happen from that point of view. And I respect that. Because of that, that's going to drive you to get to that point where you go, all right, look, this is just not good enough. My system that I have in place is not sound, because if we keep going round and round and round, and we keep arriving at the same place, this is insanity. We've got to change something. Obviously, clearly, it's not working. So I get that. But what I'm saying is, you've got to start somewhere. So some people, depending on where they are, because of your mindset and where you are, you know, and that's how you've grown, year on year, because of that, it would not be any surprise to see you achieve your goals. Because that's your mindset. And that's one of the most important things, which goes back to fatherhood, back to parenting. It's your parents have instilled a mindset. There's a mindset that's in you, and it burns very bright. And because of that, it drives you. But some people, unfortunately, haven't had that. They haven't had that opportunity. They haven't really had any mentor in their life to show them the way. So they thought, oh, do you know what? And I see that with you might find that with being a teacher, especially with the younger kids that haven't got the parents in life, they're trying to get some kind of guidance somewhere. So they go to their friends who might be mashing a little pea here and that. They don't even understand anything. They don't understand no mentality or anything like that, you know? And this is where it seems to be just a perpetual problem. What's your experience been like that in the teaching field?
Well, the kids that I work with that they don't have like a father figure in the house, they get very attached to me very quickly, very easy, because I'm just real with them. I'm just 100 with them. I just tell them what they should do, what they shouldn't do. can see that they crave that male attention. Whenever I walk into a school, like the children like gasp like, "Oh my days, where have you come from?" 'Cause they have to be like teaching is a female-dominated profession as well.
Especially as a black teacher as well.
Yeah, and it's like I'm a superstar wherever I go, and you can see that they just crave that father figure, that male figure in their lives. So yeah.
Very interesting point, because again, for me, I'm in exactly the same situation as you. I walk in, I come through the door, different. Okay, it's the energy. Again, first thing we talk about, I'm a chess coach. One of the first things we ever talk about is winning and losing and what that looks like before we play anything. We talk about mentality. Really important,
mentality.
you know, to understand that. Number one, I will say to them about the L's. You know, L's, most of you are frightened of it. You think it's going to be losing, but actually it's learning. And you got to take the L's and turn them into dubs. This is what we do. So after a while, they understand that, okay, look, press on, because things are going to happen. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to press on, and as like say in your case, you keep going on, and you get to where you want to get to. But it's that mentality that's instilled from early. Now imagine you as a father instilling that into whether your daughter or your son from an earlier age. They're better equipped to deal with life, and because again, life that's just life struggles. It's that sea that's it's just the waves, the tides of life. You know.
And I wanted to tie into that. So maybe for the audience, as fathers, what do we do as fathers to hit on your point, to shape the mentality for the future? So one of the things I do with my daughter is that everything she gets, she has to earn. So if she wants something, it's like, okay, you have to read 40 pages. Or I've got her on Go Henry, and you can do money tasks. She's like, Dad, I need £10. It's like, well, you got your Go Henry, go and do your tasks. Like, because I want her to know when she gets older that you need to put in the work for anything you get. I can't just be giving you everything. Like it's not going to shape you for the future. So everything she gets from me is a byproduct of her doing something for it, and it's something that's going to help her in the future. So that's one of the main lessons I try to instill into her. It's like, yeah.
And again, this is the things that we all applaud here as fathers, because it's the same way with my sons. Same kind of thing. I definitely concur with that. You know, that idea. Look, you have to work and earn. You have to understand that there's no getting away from it. In whatever you do, you have to have a work ethic about you, regardless. You know, don't be frightened of the work. It's okay, it may be difficult to begin with, but you overcome. Once you've got the mentality that you understand it's highs and lows. Yes, you might feel frustrated at moments. That's human nature. Here's how to overcome it. You know, these things are so really important. So with my sons, chess is a big thing, obviously. Even my baby mum still plays chess to this day. And at first, she had no time for it. Why are you always on that for? But now she plays it to this day. You know, part of shaping that mentality, you know, and it's really, really important. And there's so many different ways that people can do it, you know, because that's just mostly one thing that you're big on. But I can assure there's multiple things that you do, little, as you said earlier, just little details that you do that just have constantly nurturing the minds when they come to you. It's because you're real with them. You know, you're at school and they're asking you because you're real with them. Yeah. Now they like that realness. You know what? Okay, it's something I can gravitate towards. Okay, and then we can start looking at where the mindset is, how people are approaching things and affecting real change. And that's what it is ultimately, you know? So...
With my eldest, life skills, just trying to get him to tap into stuff he's not going to learn at school. Anything that I can teach him. You know, he asks a lot of questions. I love the fact that he does as well, because he's witnessing things firsthand. With my youngest, it's more trial and error. You know, you know, even him trying to get into the car seat the other day. You know, he fell down. You know, I said, "Are you okay?" But I didn't pick him up. You know, I let him realize. You know, he'll get it eventually, and now he gets in on his own. No problems at all. It's just about them having that determination, because again, that's something that will keep them the strength there for them you know, when they're older and got to deal with harder situations.
For my eldest is ASD, so it's a bit different from you guys. So I'm just trying to teach her manners. Because working as a teacher, you see a lot of see a lot of like mainstream children who they have learned behaviors which their parent or whoever's looking after them don't teach them that this is unacceptable, and they just do it. So the way they speak to teachers, I don't know how some kids speak to you, but children are rude. They're just rude. They've got no manners, no respect for their elders or anything like that. So for me, with my ASD child, it's just saying, no, don't talk like that. That's unacceptable. And she might not understand it, but it's just that consistency.
Setting
Just saying, doing it all the time. Setting boundaries, yes, setting boundaries. Just saying all the time, no, don't do that, because I don't want you to go outside and people to think you're some way because of the house you come from. I can't have that. So yeah, that's what I do for my children. I chat my oldest. My little one, she's only 2, so there's not a lot, but I'm still saying, okay, say thank you. Make sure you say thank you. I'll give you this. Thank you, Daddy. Repeat it. Say it back to me. Can I have this, please? Or just instilling the manners because they're still young. Just making them grow up as I was growing up from a Nigerian household. Manners were, you had to have that. Otherwise,
Don't see
problems.
Laying the foundation.
Yeah.
So in conclusion of this episode, I want everyone as fathers to say maybe one thing that you would advise either young fathers, new fathers, men that are, maybe of a certain mindset as to what fatherhood is, and just so that they can get that fast track download so they don't have to learn from their own mistakes. But it's like, look, if there's one takeaway as being a father, this is what I would say it is, and these are the things that you need to consider.
Fatherhood is an adventure. It's ups and downs. Like he said, you have your highs, you have your lows. You have the days you're tired. You have the days you have lots of energy. You have times when you have no idea what your response should be to this behavior or something that your child has said. And it's, even though it's uncertain, it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. When you see your child learn new things, or you see your child take the advice that you've given them, it fills your heart with just so much joy, so much like sense of accomplishment that you're creating a good human being. So for any fathers out there who might be scared or anything like that, we were all scared. We were all scared because we have no idea what we're doing. Even now, I mean, I can say for myself, I don't know about for the rest of you, but I can say that there's times I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to try to read and learn as much as I can so that I can try and do better for my children. But it's an adventure and it's lovely. It's a lovely adventure to have. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I'd say the respect you show the mother plays a huge part in what type of man they're going to be and the way they nourish and actually build a relationship with somebody they're going to meet in the future. You treat the mother, with kindness, with care. You're loving in front of them. They pick up on that. That's something that they're going to, show women in the future, and then you can stop the kind of chicken and the egg format
Situation.
where you can actually set the precedence for how things go, at least for your legacy.
Is that under any situation now?
It's
How are you asking him questions in the middle of his advised
it's
takeaway?
circumstantial.
I hear you.
It's
No, I hear that,
It's
and it's
circumstantial.
very important because mums don't get championed enough. Because especially when you're not with the mum anymore,
Yeah.
and she's had that full-time responsibility, it's something that we can't really imagine.
100%.
But there has to be a case.
I'll answer that this way. So my eldest is with my previous, and I don't ever show my oldest son, that I've got a problem with his mum at all. Even though I know it happens the other way around, but I just don't mirror it at all. So if anything, that will, in the future, it's not like I'm doing it purposely so that he can go to me in the future, Dad, you didn't say this, you didn't say that. But I know that it's important that he doesn't see me.
Role model.
You can't see that from me. But then with my youngest, it's got to be this, because we've got the stability and the family dynamic there. He's got to see that I treat his mum with respect. If the respect isn't there, then he then thinks, well, is this the way I'm supposed to treat women? And then it's just a vicious cycle. It just continues from there. So yeah, it's circumstantial.
Yeah, for me, fatherhood, one of the key things for young fathers is, number one, it's okay, there's no manual and you're going to learn. But what it is a pathway for self-growth. It's just another pathway for self-growth. And being a father, the number one thing that you can do is try to lead by example. So it's a pathway that allows you to walk a journey that allows you to grow, because you just keep trying to do your best. As you said, you may do your best, but then you have a moment where it's not quite going according to plan. That's okay. Keep trying to do your best, because it's like life is the same thing I say to the kids. You're going to take L's at times. That's fine. But we get creative and we turn those into W's, and that's where it's a pathway, and it's a growth, and you get that real experience from it. Also, if you are a young father, then that's the challenge before you, is really to look in the mirror, think about what do you want for your child, and try and be the best example despite the various hurdles that you may cross with your partner or whatever the situation might be. But stay true, stick to the script, stand on your shield, stay true. That's it.
Yeah, I would say you definitely have to kind of define what father you're trying to be. And once you know what that is, then you should be happy with that and always be willing to change if something's not going to plan. Because you don't have to be someone that's 9 to 5 and you come home and then you're just in the house. You can sometimes it's like, you know what, I want the next generations of my kids to be in a position where they've never been. So you're working hard, you're grinding, you're not there a lot, and don't let anyone bring you down if that's your situation. But define what you want to be as a dad and follow it. And if there's change that need to be made, don't be scared to make them. But ultimately, it's an inwards feeling of what sort of dad you are. No one else can tell you, really.
Sweet. So there you have it, guys. You've had some brilliant advice from fathers on the Inside of Ayo podcast. Now, it wouldn't be my podcast if I didn't start telling you lot about how to make sure that your kids also have an inheritance. So they're all fathers here. Most of them, if not all of them, have, life insurance. And one thing that they all said was, provision and, making sure that you're there. Now, unfortunately, there will be a point where you're not going to be there anymore. And that's where having life insurance comes into play, because that income that the family's going to lose when you pass, you're going to be able to replenish that by making sure they have a large lump sum. So they're not, in addition to the emotional stress of your passing, having a financial problem. And this is something that all fathers, all people can do and put in place. And it's something that I strongly recommend that everyone does. But that being said, you tuned into Inside of Ayo. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.